Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I transformed this old bundle of weaves into a full fringe sew-in wig with custom made closure. I started on pre-prepped hair. I'd already washed and detangled the hair. I separated them to different lengths so it's easy for me to work with. Then I air dried. I just got it out from air drying and it's pretty decent as it is. This is a pro synthetic hair that was given to my clients to transform into a full fringe wig. I'll be using breathable wig cap, thread, and a closure that I handmade specifically for this style. Needles, mannequin heads, pins, and scissors. I'll start by fixing the cap to the wig head and securing it in place with some pins. Then I'll start fixing the closure to the net and securing as many ends as possible so that it doesn't move. And then I'll start sewing it round. You notice the closure is quite different from the regular closure, because I ventilated it specifically to have that natural look when you spread your hair in different directions, so it looks like it's coming directly from your scalp. I'll be making a follow-up video to show how to ventilate this type of closure, but make sure that your closure, you fix it at the middle of the head. It's not too much to the back and too much to the front. It's just at the center of the head. Make sure your stitches are not too big so that you can get a well sewn closure to the net. For extra security, I sewed the closure one more time around on the net. I started with single weft, and you see how I avoided the bottom part of the wig cap because sewing at that part is going to make the bottom longer than the front significantly. So I make sure that I sew the very first end as many times, maybe 3 or 4 times, just so it's secured, and my stitches are very close and small. I don't do big stitches because bigger stitches means that the thread is going to wear out over time because there's no much hold on the hair. So smaller stitches will give you much hold and a longer lasting period. So I use the pins to create my track guide. This is what's going to help you to get straight tracks and also avoid having bulky edges. When I cut, I try as much as possible to tie the ends very well so it doesn't lose. The purpose of making wig is so that you can have a long-term use of this wig. So if your stitches are not tight enough or they are too big or far from each other, it's not going to last for that long period of time. So I just keep sewing. I make sure that the edges or the places that I'm folding to move to the next line are very secured, and I use my pins to create my track so it's very straight. You can see how straight and balanced it is, and the gaps I am giving between one sew-in track and the next is significant enough that you can still see the net of the wig cap through the hair. And this is how you want it to be, because if the back is too full, that is, you already have a fully closed bottom part of the wig. The back is going to be significantly fuller than the front, and that's going to be so discomforting and very bad. The gaps you give between the wefts, that's the track lines, are big enough to see when you are still at the back, because naturally the hair is all going to fall to the back. So if you put all the bundles of the hair at the back, the front is going to be very scanty. I just keep sewing, going from left to right, right to left, and using my pins to create my track length so I have a very straight and even line. So this thick band my hand is touching should be a guide to show where you start sewing in the front parts to create the fringe bangs. So I make sure that I'm very detailed and that the stitches I'm doing at this point are very small and they are tight and close to each other, because this is the front. You don't want any part of it to be pulling out. You can see how the front is laying very flat and the stitches are very small. I'm going to sew this track line till I cover this black band, thick black band. Then I'm going to start sewing the fronts. From here, I'm going to start sewing the front. I try and make the bangs not too far apart from each other because I don't want the front parts to be too scanty that you see the net, because I'm not going to put a lot of weaves at the front part of the hair because I don't want the fringe bangs to be too full. So I'm going to make the track lines a little bit closer to each other, but not too close that they are matching each other, just close enough that I can still cover the net in a very appropriate manner. So I'm just going to go from left to right, right to left until I'm satisfied with the progress of the fringe bang. So now that I've almost covered every part of the front, I'm going to double the wefts and start sewing the back, because I want the back, the top part of the back, to be very full and to cover up the remaining spaces at the back. So you start doubling at this point. You notice that throughout this hair we have been using single weft until we got to this very part of the hair, and that's the way you want it to be. This is going to give you the best result, where the back will be full. That's the top part of the back that is supposed to give it that shape and lift, will be full enough. But if you didn't do this, it's going to look very weird. So I'm going to keep adding 2 wefts from now to sew from the back to the front, but I'm going to put more at the back because I want the back to be higher than the front. I'm just going to go twice around the front, but the back I'm going to go up to at least 4 times depending on the space that is available for me to sew. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new to my channel. If you enjoyed watching this video, give this video a thumbs up. Comment in the comment section, let me know what you think about this style, and if you're interested in ventilating of the closure I used for this hair. So I just sew in the last stitches, I cut and then I secure the ends and cut the remaining weft out, and this is what it looked like after we sewed it and what it looked like after I had revamped and treated it. I wasn't able to cut the bangs before treating and revamping because that alone reduces the length of the hair. So cutting them when they were still not revamped would have caused shortage and I would have passed the bang length. My next week's video is going to show in details how I curl and revamp this hair into the beauty that it is. So thank you guys for watching my video, and I hope to see you guys in next week's video where we explore how to curl this hair.